Hello and welcome. Today's video will be continuing my Valentine series, making these plaster coasters with a heart inlay. To create the inlay, I used a window cling that has the holographic bubbles, and I put that on my Cricut to make these hearts that I could actually put into each of the molds. I then placed that in the mold, and I used a squeegee to make sure that it was adhered properly to the mold. Once I had all of my inlays laid, I then mixed my plaster. I have several other videos you can reference if you'd like more direction and detail on how to mix plaster. For this project, I used about 8 ounces of water, and then I added the plaster to the water until it would no longer absorb. Once that was completed, I then mixed it, and I added some mixed media pearl pink paint, and I also added some silver Rick's mix paint. And I did go a little heavy on that because I did want the pink to show through, and I do know that on plaster it definitely mutes the colors dramatically. So although it looks brilliant here, once it actually finishes curing and setting, it will be much lighter. Then I just filled each of the coasters until they were completely full, shaking them as I went. These molds are extremely flimsy, so it was actually quite difficult to be able to shake the mold without it falling out of the mold or running down the side, but I was finally able to do so. I then made the coaster holder using plaster as well, so I filled the coaster holder, and with this you just want to make sure that you definitely shake and vibrate it quite a bit to get all of the bubbles out and not have those show up in your final piece. I then allowed the coasters to cure per the manufacturer's instructions, and also links to all the products I'm using today are in the description below. Once the coasters had actually dried, I was then able to demold, and the great thing is that inlay actually stayed on the coaster and didn't transfer to the piece, so I didn't have to try to pry it out. And then I'm just going around the edges with my hand. You could also use sandpaper or something of that nature if you prefer. And once I got to the actual coaster holder, I did go a lot slower demolding that. Although this is sped up, I went very slow just because plaster isn't as strong as, say, Jesmonite, and I wanted to make sure it didn't crack or break. And that's it. You're now done. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and press the bell to be alerted to future videos. Here's a final look of the product.